My sister-in-law recently lost her husband. Should my wedding be postponed?
Sure.
It's really all about the vibe there. March 27th, 2025, I, 34 male, am supposed to get married next month. Now I'm not sure it's going to happen. My partner's sister, 35 female, was widowed last month. I've gotten a front row seat of how it has rocked my soon-to-be in-laws. Everyone has really tried going above and beyond for his sister, making sure she's as comfortable as possible. And I truly can't imagine, you know? You'd probably have to institutionalize me if something happened to my boy. By the way, this comes from user RemarkableRust230, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, my partner's mom came to him a few days ago and asked if he would consider postponing the wedding. She said they would cover all the lost money and would help us replan, etc. Apparently, his sister has said there's no way she can attend the wedding, and his mom knew how important it was to him to have her there, so she just wanted to offer an alternative plan. I'm not very sentimental, but my partner is. Our wedding was planned for the 10-year anniversary of when we met. That's something that meant a lot to him, which makes it mean a lot to me too. I'm trying to be sympathetic, but I'm just effing raging. I can't help it. My emotions aren't allowing me to be objective. Well, that sounds like a you problem, OP. Now, I mean, look, emotions, we all have them, but it's like we can't let our emotions dictate all of our actions all of the time.
Yeah.
I think this is a moment that requires more understanding than rage.
Agreed.
I know his mom came to him in good faith, but it makes me so angry to think about this being put on his shoulders a month before our wedding. He was so excited, and now I'm worried that if we don't reschedule, he's just going to be in his head the whole time, feeling guilty and unable to fully enjoy himself. I know his sister is hurting. I'm trying my absolute hardest not to piss off the family that is soon to be mine, one that's already mine in a lot of ways, but still I'm so mad. I'd appreciate some objective point of views. And there is an edit here. I think just being mad is okay, right? But just like be mad at the situation.
Yeah.
Don't be mad at sister or family or anyone. No one is doing this. It's like, it's just a really unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
Getting lots of she's and hers in and comments. I'm a man. Doesn't have much weight in the story. I just wanted to clear that up. Am I the a-hole has no consensus, but OP received mixed reactions. We have some comments here. Comment number 1, this sounds like something you should discuss with your partner, not random people on the internet, until you do or don't actually know how he feels. Whatever you decide together is the right decision for you as a couple. Just understand that there may be consequences with familial relationships depending on the choice you make. OP says, we have talked and he's torn. I'm trying to follow his lead because this impacts him more than me, but I'm just so frustrated. Never at him, but at them for putting him in this position by putting this weight on his shoulders. Planning has been a lot of work, but it's exciting because we know what's coming. Now we either have to do it for a second time, rebooking everything without the same excitement, or we have a wedding where no matter how good my partner feels, there will be guilt and sadness thrown in too. It's unfair. I'm half inclined to agree to cancel it all and elope, no distractions, just us. Commenter number 2 says, cancel. Get the money back from the in-laws, elope to somewhere fantastic, throw a massive first anniversary party. OP says, I'm open to this. I've always been indifferent to a big wedding. That's why I'm so focused on my husband's feelings throughout all of this. This is his baby. I just want to see him so happy. I'll talk to him about it, and as long as he's satisfied, I am. And I guess there is an a-hole part of me that's still frustrated with how long we spent planning only to have it thrown away, but that's something I'm trying to work on. Being flexible isn't always my strong suit. We have a downvoted commenter. Yeah, you're the a-hole. Do you have no empathy/sympathy? While I understand you have a wedding with a lot of expenses, this is a situation where you make the best of it, as it wasn't intentional. Harboring resentment over something like this is wild. OP says, of course I have sympathy for them. I hate that any of this happened. Her husband was a good man. It's not about the expenses. I'm frustrated because my priority, my partner, is being put in a real crappy position. I'm more mad at the world than at his family. I just know how much this means to him. Like, that's my guy, my other half. I hate knowing he has to make this decision. I hate that he's going to feel selfish and weird about going through with something he's put his time, effort, and heart into. It all effing stinks. Okay. You really didn't write that like you had. It was not written like you were mad at the world. It was written specifically actually like you were mad at the parents for bringing this up.
Right. And maybe that is true. I don't want to say that that's not how you feel.
It could have been the intent. The intent was to be mad at the world, but you wrote like you were mad at the parents.
Exactly.
But,
when you're asking for people's opinion on something like that, you want to give them all the context and all the details that you can.
All the deets.
About how you feel.
All the juicy little details.
Yeah.
OP on if his in-laws really like him. My soon-to-be mother-in-law and I are really close. There have been circumstances in my life that have made me really wary of parental figures, but I trust her completely. That's why I know she made the offer with good intentions. OP should consider on working things out with his fiancé to figure out what steps to take and have grace for his sister-in-law and mother-in-law, especially his partner on the family tragedy. OP says, I appreciate the perspective. Taking care of my fiance feels like the easiest thing in the world. It always has. Taking care of other people doesn't quite come so naturally. For a large portion of my teens and early 20s, I was pretty isolated. Being by myself was something of a survival mechanism back then. And then I met him. I was like the human embodiment of a one human pet who loves one person and reluctantly puts up with everyone else. I've grown up a lot in the last decade I've known him. His family has been really good to me. But I think in times like these, when I'm scared and angry and sad, I go back to my one human stray cat mode, hoping that made even the tiniest semblance of sense. It did, at least to me. Not sure why all these animal analogies are coming out in my comments either. The point is, sometimes I'm not great at big picture. I can't imagine what it would be like in her shoes having to go on with the knowledge of so many memories. I'm not trying to be unempathetic at all. I'm just trying to juggle a lot right now. OP on his fiance making decisions regarding the wedding and how he's supporting him. OP says, my fiance is going to make a decision over the next coming days and I'm going to support whatever he chooses. This would be super nice though. I would love 2 weeks far, far away from everyone in the world besides him. Well, yeah, you might, but like he might be wanting to stay close to his family because they just went through like a massive loss.
Right.
And are probably going to want to lean on each other.
Right.
So I get it though. OP explains stray cat, one person mentality, bad at big picture.
Yeah.
But like that's another big picture thing where it's like you might not, you'd feel like it's right to go out of town for 2 weeks right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it did happen a month ago, but that's not a lot of time.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're like,
with something like that,
if you're bad at big picture and you're like saying that means you're aware of it. So it's like, you don't want to keep feeding into that if you know that this probably isn't the right time to be bad at big picture. You know what I mean? Like work against it if you know it's a problem.
I think the best bet is just like whatever your partner's thinking right now, just support that. You know?
Exactly.
Thank you for the kind comments. They mean a lot. I love him in a way I wish I could tell 15-year-old me about to give old me some hope. I would do any number of ridiculous things to make him happy. He's the kindest, sweetest person, gentle and warm. I learn so much from him. There's an update from 2.5 weeks later. I'm a married man.
Whoa.
So they did it. They went through with the wedding.
All right. Okay.
Or maybe they eloped. I don't know. Let's find out. I let my husband take the lead on making the decisions here and let him know I would support whatever he chooses. After some discussion, we decided to cancel the wedding and elope instead.
All right.
Secret wedding. My husband said he wouldn't feel right gathering all his family and our friends without his sister present, but it was still very important to him that we got married on the date we first met. It was perfect. It was exactly the right choice. It was quiet and intimate and us. There's nothing in the world I love more than seeing him smile, and he was stuck in perpetual smile mode.
Oh.
I was so worried if we had the wedding, I would look over and see him looking anything less than thrilled because it wasn't how he envisioned it without his sister there. I think the complete change in expectation made it easier for him to let go. Again, exactly the right choice. We're on cloud 9. In the lead up, there was a lot of calling vendors, friends, and family to let them know we were canceling. It was very short notice and we weren't rescheduling anything, so we lost all of our deposits. Our loved ones were really understanding of our decision, at least they were over the phone. We had very few people flying in, only 3 friends, and his mom agreed to cover their flights as well. Finally, to address my anger. Most of it was directed towards the universe, but I'll admit that I was mad at my mother-in-law. Discussions about our wedding and his sister's grief were ones we were already having. Still, a third party coming to him and making this request felt cruel in the moment. It felt like a guilt trip, like unnecessary pressure on my husband when he was already having to make these decisions anyway. We eventually made the choice we wanted to make, but he did tell me at one point he didn't want his mom to think he was heartless if we had the wedding without his sister. And by the way, we would never consider you heartless if you went and listened to full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and then you have 54 almost days worth of stories to listen to. We have a little bit more story here. Do you have anything to add, Angie?
I mean, I think that seems like a good way to deal with things. Listened to the fiance, now husband, right? And saw how he felt, saw, what he wanted to do, because that's really the most important thing, like we were saying before.
Yes.
And then they got eloped, and everyone's all happy now. Then you can have like another party for like an anniversary or something.
Yeah.
Or,
Big old 1 year anniversary, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think it was salvaged. I think we salvaged the situation.
We worked
One
it
thing
out.
I do want to say, not to put OP on blast, but I'm kind of doing that.
Go ahead.
I feel like OP needs to own their anger a little bit more. I think maybe some therapy or some counseling, whatever, to work through and figure out what's going on there.
Yeah.
Because that post was really written like, and I understand in hindsight, you can be like, I was probably more mad at the universe. But in that moment, you were directing all of that anger onto your in-laws, specifically your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and then we're kind of like, no, I'm just mad at the universe.
her daughter's husband had just, she was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
She wasn't trying to be like, hey, you need to do this and this is now on you. It's more like, hey, we are now in a completely different situation than we were when we planned this wedding.
Yep.
So we got to figure out what's going to happen with your sister and if she can't come.
Yeah.
So can we move it or not? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Gotta figure it out.
That is just a mom being a mom.
Right.
So I would address your anger.
Yeah.
Because
That's
it's a bit of an issue, or it could
I wouldn't have thought about that, but that's good. Good insight.
Let's finish this story.
Oh, yeah.
Emotions were running high for everyone. I don't think his mom would ever think he's heartless. I know no one was out to get us. His mom was doing her best to make the day comfortable for everyone, and navigating that is basically impossible. Still, I'm not sorry for my anger. Might want to work on that, and maybe that still makes me the a-hole, but I'll be the a-hole who loves his husband and puts him first in every situation. Might want to just do a little digging.
Listen
Get to the core of that anger, baby.
Yeah.
We have some more relevant comments here.
Congratulations to both and to a lifetime of happiness.
Don't know why I did that voice. OP says thank you, and also to all the other commenters sending congratulations. I feel so lucky. Peace was something that didn't exist for me for most of my life, particularly in my late teens and early 20s. Then he came along and changed everything.
Aww.
Commenter 2 says, does the family know yet? OP says, nope. We've been in a hotel suite having a little staycation all weekend, so neither of us have been on our phones much at all. My mind has just been on him. Commenter 3 says, not the a-hole. You put your husband first, made a kind choice, and handled it with love. Congrats on your marriage. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. And that is the end of that story. I don't think they're an a-hole for the anger. I just think it's something they should probably get to the bottom of. That's all.
Yeah. It's very easy to get a little lost with anger and anger management and all that. Yeah. Is that the end? I think that might be the end of the episode. No?
I think you're right. Indeed.
Wow.
It is. So, if you love us, make sure you subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.